Hi there everybody, this is Gammy, and once again, for the second time, I get to use the Northeast Regional to go to Richmond, Virginia. So a bit of personal Gammy lore. I've always wanted to go to Richmond to go see some auto racing at the Richmond Raceway, and last year I was just put in a very good position for me to spend multiple nights away from the DC area and spend some time at Richmond, and it was quite an eye-opening experience. Much so that it actually started the Gam Wolfers YouTube channel. Well, started again, because I used to do YouTubing, but I deleted that old channel, and this is it. And the whole thing was extremely new to me. Using Amtrak, booking a hotel, buying race tickets, and then finding all the transit access. Everything was completely new to me. Thankfully it all worked out, and I learned quite a lot of lessons. One of those lessons involves Alexandria Union Station. I always wanted to start at Alexandria Union Station because it's just a personal thing, and since I live in Alexandria, why not? I learned the hard way that all the good seats typically get taken, so it's better to just book at Union, and then if you want to return, then you can return to Alexandria Union Station, and then it all makes sense. Unless you want to max out your Amtrak points and stuff like that. And fun fact, when I booked my very first Amtrak train and got on the train, I definitely got the full Amtrak experience per se, and that was, we had to stop for at least 2 hours because Tropical Storm Debbie already arrived in the DC region, and it certainly caused a lot of delays and track repairs. And yes, it was quite an interesting journey. Thankfully I booked my train for around 7 o'clock in the morning, and we arrived there like sometime like midday, so thankfully it all worked out. And technically I did have like say the reservation, so it wasn't like anything was going to be taken away, but certainly it was quite an experience. But certainly that did not discourage me from using Amtrak, because obviously I wouldn't be recording this video right now, and definitely I wouldn't be visiting places like Wilmington, Philadelphia, New York, Indianapolis, Boston, Providence. And certainly it has motivated me to at least explore more of the United States. Plane travel is a little bit pricey. I'm still a little bit uncomfortable with bus travel, but everything will fall into place at some point. Now, I do have an intention of wanting to do a day trip on Richmond just to see what it's like, without like me being focused on other stuff that I want to do in Richmond and just exploring more. And I will say it is definitely possible, at least on the weekdays, to do a reasonable amount of day tripping on Richmond. From what I've gathered, if you can take the NER to Main Street and then figure out a way to go to Staple Mills and take the train from 7 and then come back to the DC region by 9 to 10, I think you're definitely guaranteed at least 6 to 8 hours of exploring Richmond. And yes, it is absolutely possible to even day trip Ashland as well, since it's a little bit more closer to the DC region. Unfortunately for the Hampton Roads region, you're only guaranteed about 4 hours. Well, so as long as the train isn't being held up, because it does single track in the Main Street portion of the line. But in any case, you would have to stay overnight if you want to have fun with the Hampton Roads region. And trust me, 4 hours in Hampton Roads is not doing anything justice. But needless to say, this was a very good trip to and from DC to Richmond. This time I actually had my mom and my sister join me. We went from Union to Staples Mills, and then from Main Street Station to the ALX. And this is the footage that I have managed to grab. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of the awesomeness. Alrighty, here we are, Richmond Staple Mill Station. Hi y'all, I hope you love that little tour back and forth using the Northeast Regional. Expect a lot of videos from Richmond. I do have at least 3 in mind, and it's at least for one of them, it's quite the adventure. I hope you all have a great day. Leave a comment, a like, especially with the comments, like any special Northeast Regional memories that you have, especially on the south side heading to like Richmond and the Hampton Roads area. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.